Because I just realized this would have to be... Oh. You know what? I just realized. Isn't there another set of... And have all the items use connectors? Yeah. But I just thought about something. Isn't there one more set of, like... There is, it's right... Oh, maybe I should do this first. Because I think this is the last set of conveyors, right? This is the fastest ones. Maybe I should wait for that. Pick all nodes use connector into one and have all the items use connectors in the chest factory. All the items use connectors. Not sure what you're trying to say there. If you're saying the merging and splitting, then yes. At the same time, though. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. At the same time, if I was gonna have the splitters coming out here, it would probably make sense to have everything merge into one and then have the splitters inside the like a subwall. Like you would basically have splitters here, right? You'd have splitters here saying, okay, if this is a, you know, after you come in through the wall, if this is an iron ingot, store it here. Copper ingot, store here. Otherwise, pass it down, right? I don't know what else you have. You know, what else? Well, basically, everything be inside the subwall where everything merges into one track into here. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Okay, the only problem with that is you'd have to have two smart splitters then, right? You'd have to have one here to split out. So, okay, so let's say this is coming in from the outside, right? This is coming in from the outside. So you have a wall here. This is going to be the main input, right? Right. And then, see, and this is why I'm thinking I should wait for the Mark 5. Because all I have is the Mark 4. That's coming in here, right? So you're going to say, all right, the center output, this is if it's going to be, like, let's say, I don't know, just for the sake of argument, this is going to be, where's the search? Oh, iron ingot, right? Then, oops, everything else to the left is any, right? The problem is that if you just have this logistics here, if you just have this here, right? You would need to have another splitter here, don't you? Yeah, I think you would have to have another smart splitter here. That again lets any go through here because you've already separated out iron ingot. That lets any go through here, but you need to deal with overflow because you don't want to back this main line up, right? Because if your iron ingots get full, it's just going to back up everything. Everything's going to come to a complete stop. So you would need two rows. We need to have two sets. Oh, wow. That's kind of insane. Huh. Try it to see if it works. So the problem is that if you're going to have this many going to overflow, let me think about it. Hold on. Unless we make it, unless we do it, I think it probably would work better this way. Then come in through this wall, right? Come on. Each chest have a connector? Yes, of course. So again, we do something like this. We have a smart splitter come in here, right? Ah. Okay, we have a smart splitter coming in through here. So this comes into here. Comes into here. Do we need a second splitter here if there is overflow? Or can we put the overflow here? No. Yes. I think we can. Because I think we can do this, right? Because I think we can set the center to any, the right output to now the one we want, right? Which is like, let's say, iron ingot. And then on the left, we could just do overflow. So any overflow that's detected, oh no, yeah, we just come out here. And then we could have a separate track that goes into a sink. I don't think we need a separate one. Because if it does any here, if it says any, is it any except what's put here? Have the overflow have its own chest? Maybe. I was thinking of just throwing it straight to a sink. I was just thinking about throwing it straight to its, yeah, to its own sink, because then we could have another one here, right? So again, so there shouldn't be any. Okay, let's try something here. Do I have anything on me? Iron ores, okay. So let's change this. Let's see what happens here. Okay, let's change. Okay. So we're splitting out. Let's make this iron ore now. I have that on me, right? We go out. Overflow goes here. So what happens? Just do this. Kind of curious now how this works. All right, let's split this in two. Iron ore, let's see. What do we throw over here? Yeah, it should be fine. Actually, let's throw this. Oh, that's compacted coal. Let's change that. Okay, so it should spit out a couple here first. Oh, but it's, yeah, but see, any still goes over here. Ooh. That's not good. Now it's going to start throwing overflow here, right? Yeah, that's not good. Okay. But that didn't work. So this any includes compacted coal. So we can't do the overflow here. We have to set up a second one. Okay, that's good to know. Have the overflow have its own chest. The end of the line that you put that chest. No, but the problem is that once this gets full, the overflow it's still sending what we wanted, so it's still sending the compacted coal. It still counts as any, right? So it's still gonna send it here. So yeah, we would need to put a smart splitter here. That throws any there, and then throws overflow here into like a sink or something like that. Or was in this case, this is gonna go like, this is just gonna loop back on itself for now. Let's see. Let's do none. That's gonna do any. So it's again, it's I don't like that. Why doesn't that? It shouldn't throw any compacted coal this way. It should be just continually looping this way. What am I doing wrong here? Is this not any? Any undefined? Oh, maybe that's it. Hold on. Oh. Okay. So then if that's any undefined. Oh. Maybe this will work now? Overflow? So we don't have to have that second one? So this, I think we'll send now the overflow. Oh, okay, we don't need a second one. Yeah, we don't need a second one. And then let's do this. We'll see, we'll check to make sure it works. We'll flood this with this, right? Let's flood that with this. And then we'll throw, I don't know, this in here. And then we'll do this same thing. We'll send this out a little bit. Oops. Any undefined. This will be fuel. Right? And then this will be overflow. Yeah. Oh! Oh, this was already in there, I think. Huh. And we're gonna have a bunch of mergers here, right? Yeah, so any overflow now goes out. Any item, right. Okay, so we have to make sure that there are any, it's any undefined. That's perfect. We don't need a second one. Okay. I think that works. All right, give me 1 second. Be right back. When you add it to chess, it's any items. You add it to chess. When I add it here? No, I just, whatever compacted coal is here, right? It just goes into there. Okay. So, which means that we need 2 tracks. One for the initial, for like whatever's coming in. And then the second track will be for things going to a sink of some sort, right? Okay. Come on. All right. I think we're good. All right, we'll leave that there for now, just so we can have, okay, but we want to build it. I think we want the base of it or to start here because we can't build that way. So we're gonna have to build this way. Now the question is how far. But the problem is if we want one for everything, this is gonna go pretty damn long. How the hell? Damn, how's that gonna work? All right. Well, let's start with the first. Let's start with the basic items first. Let's start with the basic items. Okay. So we're saying that the first one is going to come in this way, right? I think. Come in through that wall. We're going to have a splitter here. Okay, our most basic item, any undefined, is going to be the iron ingot, right? And overflow, going to go this way. Okay. Okay. Fine. Then we're going to have industrial storage here. Make it west, north, east, and south? I'm not sure I follow that. Are you saying that you're gonna have different items in like north, east, west, south? Huh. Okay, well if that's the case, then it's gonna be more of a circle then, right? Than anything else. It's gonna be kind of round, but how would you... Oh, you expand north, east, south as you expand. Okay, so you start in and you expand out north, east, west, south, but then you would have to keep track of which items are in each quadrant. Starter, middle, and end game items? In the middle? Huh. Wait, let me think about that. Let me think about that. I mean, we're gonna have a star here. Yeah, that means you can have kind of like a T, right? And then that means you also want maybe the two outside tracks or the two outside foundations to be clear, because that's where the track is going to go all along. And then if you need to expand, you could do it by the phases too, right? Where you could do phase 1 is one wing, or like the basic stuff, the starting stuff is one wing. Phase 1 is another wing. Phase 2 another wing. Oh no, so the starting and the phase 1 is one wing, right? That might work. That might work. Could also do oh, that didn't work. What happened here? Why did this come out here? Yeah, I was just saying we could make levels too, where the first level could be like your basic items and like phase 1 stuff, and then it moves up a floor for the next tier. That might be good, actually. How did these get out here? Something's not right. Because this should never get out here. That was weird. So if it's full on, it should come out that way. Yeah, how did those get out there? Maybe they were left over inside here as well? Oh. Then link each nodes to that level? Yeah, yeah. So we could do that, where we could make it so that it's coming here, everything is labeled. You got iron nodes, iron ingot, copper ingot, probably cement. Oh, but wait a minute though. I just realized, what about stuff like compacted coal? See, I have compacted coal and I have something else here. I have compacted coal and I have... What's this steel that I use? Right. That uses iron, ore, and coal. I guess I just make the steel ingots where they're at right now. I keep them there. No, I'm just wondering if I should be shipping the iron ore, the ores themselves. I don't think I should, like the raw inputs. Yeah, I'm just wondering if I should ship this. And then maybe I should. Yeah, maybe we should start with the actual raw ingots. Right? You can make those. I was thinking about it. Yeah. I was thinking about whether or not to ship or to store raw, the raw materials, like the ores. Cause I'm making steel ingots out of coal and iron, but I'm also making condense, or what is it called? Not charcoal. Where's the other one? Condense. Is it condense something? Eh? Oh, compacted coal. Out of sulfur and coal. So I should probably just keep those where they're being made, like, and then just ship the final product. Just ship the compacted coal and the steel. Okay. Yeah, so the question is, do I want to make it multi-floor, or do I want to make it have different wings? What's easy? Well, the easiest for me to kind of visualize is multi-floors, because at the end, because basically, like, at the end of this, right, you would just send whatever you have left up to the next floor, and so on and so on. What I'm not sure about is, like, if I have the first initial ones here, like, do I just turn out this way and then wrap it back around and come up here and then make it kind of like I said, a T shape? Is that what we do? If we make it a T shape, it's all one floor. And that's my that's my barrier right there. Huh. Then to the next level? Maybe. Maybe. But I'm also trying to think of, like, if we can make it, because the problem with multi-floors is, like, if I need to, well, I shouldn't need to get to them. That's the whole point. Okay. Then with connector, yeah, of course, it would, like, at the end of this, if I was moving up to the floor, it'd just be piped up, you know, it would just be piped up with one of these to the upper floor. Wait, there was something I was thinking about. Oh, right. So where's the outputs are gonna, okay, so how am I gonna be handling the outputs then? Do I set an out? We set a wall here, right? We set a single wall here, and then have everything come out as a single. Oh, that would be turning it into like a massive bus system, right? Where if everything's coming out this way, we have like one track for iron ingots, and then it can split wherever it wants to go. And then copper, and you know, whatever else we have. Huh. Interesting. But then, okay, the only problem with that is that you run into problems where you want one facility requires only so many. Like, you know, let's say one facility only requires 45 top iron ingots. I guess you just throw in as many as you can there. You just throw 60 and then it gets backed up, right? Of the iron ingots. It might not be so bad. The problem is, okay, so there's the next problem. Would this bus be vertical or horizontal? How's this even gonna work? Because we could have something like this coming out here, right? So like, let's say, for instance, this would be coming out here. If this is copper, for instance, this would be coming out like this, out of the wall. I've never done this before, but can you put splitters at the end of this? Oh. Can. Interesting. Interesting. But then you just keep going on and on like this, right? The video you sent? Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm just trying to I like brainstorming things on my own as well, though. I want to try to see if I can do something with it. Now see, at this point, if it's getting like this is getting too ridiculous, right? Because at some point, it's not going to be able to do this anymore. Right? Because at some point, it's going to be like... It can't... At some point, it's going to be too steep. So do you then just throw... Yeah, too steep. Oh. Wait, that's not too steep? My God. This is crazy. This is the only part that I'm unsure of. I don't know how to handle this. So at this point, this is probably going to be way too steep, right? For anything. Yeah. So you would probably need to put some sort of conveyor at this point. Match the height. Imagine. Yeah. Yeah, that's what you would have to do. And then this would continue on that way, that will continue. Okay. So then you would just do this again, right? Wish you could adjust it afterwards. Dude, that looks insane. Whoa! Oh, it's going the wrong way. Is that how it has to be? No. Yeah, I don't think it does. The only problem is what's better, to be honest with you, is probably something like this then. Yeah, that's a little nutty. Oh, 1 second, chat. Ugh. It's more like spaghetti? Oh, that's what I'm trying to avoid is the spaghetti, man. I'm trying to avoid spaghetti. So the only other thing I can think of is... Here. Yeah, because this got unwieldy pretty fast. I'll admit that. This got unwieldy pretty fast here. Let's see. So the only other thing I can think of is doing something like this, where I've seen where people make a bus, but it's just like this, right? But you have to start here like, oops, no, stop doing that. Oh my god. Where, oh my, stop it. Okay. So, there. Right? You start with something like that, and then this comes off to the next to it. Right? And then this one comes off after that. And so on and so forth. And it looks cool, especially from a bird's eye view. It looks cool because you have all the you have all the belts like lined up with each other, but that can get really, really wide. You know? And that could get really, and especially if you have to like start splitting them. Like, I don't know what do you do when you need to split them? Do you just put one of these temporarily in front of it? Like this, right? And then split it here? And then have this like main one go back down? Maybe? Or maybe you do this, you know, to bring it back down. Right? And then these can still come out this way if you wanted to. But then you can get conflict here if you split here. Like this one can get conflicts if you split on either side. Have one line start at the end, go down it. Huh. That's interesting. That would be clean. The only problem with that is that you're gonna have to have a second set of splitters. Second set of smart splitters in order to control everything. Right? Let's see. Hold on. Right. So then that means it would look something like this then, right? Well, no. If everything's coming, that means you're gonna have a bunch of mergers coming out this way, right? It's gonna look like this. Why isn't this lined up in the center? Oh, because that was never lined up in the center. All right, whatever. Right, so it would look like this. You just have a bunch of these. Right? I mean, it could do this. Take out the connector, use belt. No, but you need to merge them at some point. You can't If you're using a single belt for all of them, for all the exits here, you can't... Why is this not in the center? See, the problem is that if you have this here, right? And these are all three different items. How do you merge them into one? Take out the connector, use belt, that's for each chest. Right. So again, like, okay, this is the wall, this is walled up, right? This is for iron ingots. It's coming out this way. Now I want to send out my iron ingots out to everybody, you know, everything that needs it. You know, it's got to have its own track. It can't share the track coming out with this one that's, let's say that this is doing where this one's doing, what do you call, copper ingots, right? This has to go to its own destinations. No, the input storing into the chest is coming here. Storing into the chest, yeah, there's going to be a splitter, a smart splitter for each of these chests. I'm talking about output going out to the different factories. I'm not talking about input anymore. This is just straight output. Okay, this is iron ingots, copper ingots. This is cement. You know, this cement needs to go somewhere, right? So it's got to go its own way. So it's this part here that I want to be able to, that I need to be able to manage so that it doesn't look like spaghetti. Because if all this looks nice in here and all these outputs basically just look like more spaghetti, then this is not worth it. Because that's what I have already, is I just have a crap ton of spaghetti on everything. And I don't want that anymore. So it's managing the output is where I need to, is the next part that I need to tackle. And again, is it going to be like one wide bus, very horizontal, where each one goes out, and then, you know, you have splitters out here, you know, just regular splitters coming out here to go wherever they want to go, or is it going to be more of a vertical bus that goes out? But then that vertical bus, yeah. Yep, I'll have to think about it. But this was a good start here, getting this stuff. So let's just to make sure. So here we would have a smart splitter, right, coming in here. And one here. And like one here. Right? And then this would be any undefined. This would be, say, iron ingots, right? This would be overflow, was coming out here. It gets synced. When it comes to here, this would be any undefined. This would be copper ingots. Right? And then this also would be overflow. And then over here, would do any undefined. We would do, let's say, not called cement. What is it called? God damn it. What is it called? Concrete. Concrete, right? And then overflow goes out here. So basically, stuff comes in that's made elsewhere, and then it gets put through here, down the line, all of it, and then it gets thrown into each individual chest, right? Now, when it's being used, it has to come out. And then this is the part that I need to think about, because, you know, if we have one factory here making, I don't know, iron rods. Iron rods are going out there, and then iron rods are going to come back in here. Iron rods are going to come back in here, right? Iron rods will, iron ingots come out, iron rods come back. But now, let's say I'm making iron plates. So now we have a split here from iron rods and to making iron rods and iron plates. But again, the problem I have is that that's going to look like spaghetti if I don't manage it. And I'm trying to get away from spaghetti because spaghetti is all I have. And that's why I want to manage. And that's why I was thinking about managing with a vertical belt highway. So it's just one that goes straight out, or is it going to be a horizontal belt highway that just goes out? But see, if it looks like this, then this gets turned into spaghetti really easy. It's just too easy to turn into spaghetti. So yeah. I need to think about that.